This is the 2021 Audi Q5. Arguably, it's the most important vehicle Audi makes. Why? A, it's their best-selling vehicle in North America. B, along with the Mercedes-Benz GLC, the BMW X3, and the Lexus NX, helps to define the ever-growing and ever more profitable compact luxury SUV segment. Now, this has been refreshed for 2021, but the question becomes, in such a crowded, competitive field, does the Q5 have what it takes to stand out? Let's find out. It's ironic that the Q5 is Audi's best-selling product because they never really wanted to sell SUVs to Americans. Back when Mercedes-Benz came out with the ML class in the late 90s, Audi said, you don't need an SUV. All you really need is a station wagon with off-road capability. They built the all-road and they couldn't sell it. Nobody bought it. Now they're known as an SUV maker. So who's this vehicle for? Well, the previous A4 buyer, really the BMW 3 Series customer, recently minted yuppies. And so what Audi's hoping is when you're gonna buy your first luxury vehicle, you make it a Q5. In terms of design, there are successful refreshes and then there's the Q5. And what I mean by this is, look, Audi a couple generations ago, they came up with the giant grille on an automobile, right? No one was doing it, now everybody's doing it. Unless you're a Tesla, you got a big grille. The problem is, if you originate it, you can't really turn your back on it. You can't suddenly start doing something else. So their only option is more grille until you get this where it just basically takes up the entire face of the car. It's just a lot of black plastic at the end of the day. You start coming down the side of this thing and you see what Audi does really well. Very nice looking, very expensive looking wheels. Audis always have great wheels. And then you see how Audi is able to fold metal, and no one does it like this. Like, these creases are just, it's a manufacturing technique that Audi pioneered and no one else has really caught up with yet. Take a step back though, it still reads just like an SUV despite the cool line work. So to break up the slab sides, they added this sill here. Yeah, it works okay. You get out back and it just reads like an Audi SUV, although it's a little frumpier than I remember. It kind of looks just like a Q7, which is a larger car, so it kind of has like a heftiness to it. Again, it's a well-designed vehicle. I just don't think it's attractive as the last one. Inside the Audi Q5, I'm right at home here, mostly because I owned an Audi Allroad for 3 years, and it's a very similar cabin. This is, again, is a 2021 refresh, so it's an update of that cabin. The big news is the infotainment screen here. It is larger and it's a touch screen. There used to be a rotary dial right here. It's gone. Now there's an odd-shaped hole, which isn't quite the size of a cell phone, but they've added a spot for your cell phone that has wireless charging. That's a very good thing. As far as the cabin goes, it's really premium. For a long time, Audi's been making some of the best interiors in the business, and they focus on little things like the noise you get when you click something. It's uniform throughout the cabin, so the touchscreen is going to have the same click as the window switches, as the shifter, and it's a subtle thing, but it just makes the entire experience feel quite premium. Of course, you've got Audi's excellent virtual cockpit. The MMI system itself is quite functional. As far as the materials go, it's actually a mixed bag within the Prestige here. Like, the roof and the A-pillar are wrapped in this nice fabric, but then there's this kind of undone, greasy plastic, which doesn't really match. But then you have really nice wood, really nice metal, and really nice leather. Behind me, it's not a ton of room. Remember, this is based on the A4, not the A6. However, should you fold the seats down, there is quite a bit of room back there. Again, the big takeaway is, Audi has done premium cabins right for a very long time. Is it the best interior in the class? Hard to say. It is, but it's top 3 for sure. One of the reasons you pay more for premium vehicles is because typically you get more performance. Audi's well aware of this, which is why they've added 13 horsepower to the 2-liter inline turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, bringing the total up to 261 and the torque rating up to 273 pound-feet. There's also a hybrid option available, adds about 100 horsepower, 100 pound-feet of torque. Whichever you choose, you get a 7-speed dual clutch transmission, which might give you slightly quicker acceleration times, but trust me, most customers won't know the difference. They think they're just driving a regular automatic. This Q5 is all-wheel drive. If you're really seeking a performance car, you want to go for the SQ5. That's a separate video, but you know, this drives about as well as everything else it competes against. In terms of fuel economy, this car gets 25 miles per gallon combined, and the hybrid will net you 50 mpge. As far as safety goes, we know that the Q5 had a 5-star crash rating from the NHTSA. The Insurance Institute gives it all good marks, and the Q5 comes loaded with tons of standard active safety features such as rear cross-traffic alert. How much does a 2021 Audi Q5 cost? Well, you can get into one for right around $44,000. This blue baby next to me is the top tier prestige trim, and that costs around $55,000. A couple things to point out: you can actually get into an Audi A4 for just over $39,000, and you can get into an Audi Allroad, which is a wagon version of the A4, but it has the ground clearance of the Q5 for the same price as the Q5. As far as the German rivals go, they're all priced almost identically, the BMW and the Mercedes-Benz. However, the Lexus NX costs a little bit less. If there's one thing I want you to know about the 2021 Audi Q5, it's that there is a reason why it's Audi's best-selling vehicle. It's really good at being a premium SUV. As I mentioned, this is a very crowded segment. Aside from the other three competitors, Alfa Romeo, Acura, Infiniti, Jaguar, Volvo, everybody's getting in on this cash cow. But what the Q5 brings to the table is its Audi-ness. You know, you may not like the refresh, I certainly don't, but it's a sharp-looking car. Plus you have that engine, plus you have that powertrain with the Quattro all-wheel drive system, you have that premium interior. It's really hard to argue against any of that. In fact, you could just say it's really hard to argue against the Audi Q5. To see vehicle rankings and a complete buyer's guide, please visit motortrend.com/cars.